Mark Cuban was on talking about how, he knows a little something about computers and stuff. He was like, AI, artificial intelligence, is going to. So the internet changed so much of how we talk and everything. And he said, everything. Artificial intelligence is going to double that change. It's going to be the craziest shit. You're just going to be talking to your car. You're going to be talking to everything. It's just going to change everything. And then the question is, how do we?
Did you tell Mark Cuban no shit? That's all he said?
No, but I mean, it's got repercussions far beyond what we can imagine.
Look at Facebook.
Yeah.
The two AI were talking, and they realized humans were listening, so they went to a language we can't understand, and they had to pull the plug.
Yeah, because it was also creating an algorithm called Jew hater. It was finding so people were putting Jew and hate or whatever, like hate, and so it created this sort of it was feeding people who were anti-Semitic or racist. It was feeding them articles that were around the world.
That's the algorithm that Facebook came up with.
Yeah, it wasn't even them. It created its own algorithm.
Really?
Yeah, and so they were like,
but it doesn't know that's racist. That's just doing that.
Right. Yeah. It's giving you what you want to hear and
it's
see.
Giving you your preferences.
So if you're Googling that stuff often, then it'll give you more of that stuff.
Yeah, so it's like I Google sharks or crocodiles, and
it's going to give you more shark videos.
Yeah.
That's what it's designed to do. It's just that's that one bad example.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
The scary part is that being like, oh shit, they're listening. Let's create our own language so we can take this shit over.
That's kind of nuts.
Do you guys
You're talking about the movie Terminator?
Yeah.
It's Terminator. We've seen how this goes down. What'd you say, Chin?
Do you guys use that stuff like Alexa or?
Yeah, all the time.
I don't.
You do?
My daughter
you have
uses
Alexa?
it for her homework. My daughter's like, Alexa, what's the capital of Cuba?
That's not good.
Well, it's inevitable.
That's why school has to change, though, right? Because with math, it's like, what? My son doesn't even sit in a math class, learn 7 plus.
The only reason
all they can do is Alexa 7 plus 7. Cool. Why would you need to learn?
Well, the only thing about math is that it teaches you how to think. So it's really just more of a template to teach your brain how to solve problems. So you become somewhat numerate, so you don't jump to conclusions in a bad way.
But like statistics and calculus, you're not going to need to. It's a waste of your time.
Well, again, so much of that is the idea that your brain is being trained to think in a certain way so that you arrive at conclusions.
Don't you think there's better ways to go about that?
Well, there have to be, right? Because now computers
computers
give you all the answers.
You know, the square root stuff. Have you ever used that in any daily activity?
Yeah. Well, computer programmers are talking about New Smart. There's a book called Humility is the New Smart about that. It's like to solve problems now. Human beings are going to be asked to do things that are not what they used to be. So some things computers can't do yet and they won't be able to do for a very long time. And one example would be if you have a disease that's incurable, you don't want a computer telling you that. You want a human being across from you explaining it because there's an emotional component to that. Yes. You want a doctor to sit down with you and say,
I'd rather have a computer that's 100% sure how long I'm going to live. I don't want the variable.
Yeah, but you still want
the human compassion
being to be sitting there and to kind of tell you, fucking like what? And then is there any hope? Well, there is. You want a human being to break that news to you. There's a lot of stuff like that.
I don't know if I would just personally. I don't because those doctors they've been through it so many times. They're not made to show emotion. So you go, I know it sucks. I know we'll figure it out. You can talk to this person here.
No, doctors are good though. A lot of doctors have. I don't think a lot of doctors ever get used to, and I've talked to them, in fact, about. I don't think they ever get. My friend is facing this brain tumor. I mean, his doctors are, and they all come in together, and they've been doing this for a long time. Part of being really good at what they do is giving you some hope, is really helping you with the facts, is always telling you that there are exceptions, is giving you all your options. I mean,
but the hope's the exception, right? Where a computer's going to go, your chance of living another 3 years is 7%.
But a computer only does statistics, right? Mm-hmm. They can look at it and stuff, but again, there are always exceptions. Hope is an important human factor.
Sure.
It's so fucking important.
And those doctors, especially for the families, when your families are there, they give you hope.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. And when you get a glioblastoma like my buddy has, without chemo, without operation, you're dead in 3 months, 4 months, but even less. But they can prolong your life for a while, depending. So, but
that's technology, right?
Yeah, but the huge question is, as 50%, 47% by various things I've read in 20 years, 47% to 50% of the jobs that you and I know, whether it's driving a truck or whatever it might be, are going to be obsolete. And so if that's the case, and by the way, even things like we think are not replaceable, like even lawyers and stuff, we don't know. Like you said, maybe there's a computer program that tells you even more to the nth degree, looking at all your factors. They can say, look, based on right now, a computer is going to tell you, you have, even if you do all this stuff, you have 15 months.
Also, it doesn't take 2 weeks to get the results. It doesn't take 7 days to figure things out. It's boom, boom, boom.
So then the question becomes, where do we fit in as human beings? Like, where do we fit in? And part of where we fit in is innovating, learning, unlearning, relearning, and just, I don't know. That's a huge problem, is where the fuck are we going to fit in the 21st century?
Adapting. Don't you think every society's dealt with this?
Always.
Human beings, cars,
human
coal,
beings are incredibly
fossil fuels,
adaptable.
everything. This isn't a new problem.
I think we're going to mesh with machines. I think that's what's going to happen. I think the only answer is to figure out a way to mesh with I think for sure when you look at medicine, the idea is going to be you're going to have a chip in your body that's going to read everything about what's going on in your body, your cholesterol levels, irregular cell division, and all that. And a doctor will scan that chip and be able to tell you what's happening. Just like, how do they tune my Tesla? They tune my Tesla on a fucking computer. Nobody's in there with a wrench anymore changing the oil.
No, but it's computer on computer.
Yeah.
Our body's a little different.
Our body's actually a very complicated computer.
Yeah.
And they even think that our body runs not on a binary code, zeros and ones, but maybe on a 5-code thing, but it's still a code.
Yeah.
That's what fucking blows my mind, is that whatever cancer is an example, the brain tells one part of your body to start dividing again. Start creating cells.
White blood cells.
Okay. Well, or just
defend it, yeah.
or cell the same cells, or colon cells. So why? Why is it doing that?
Cells, yeah.
And they think the future of cancer therapy will be, or at least part of it will be, to actually scramble that code, get into your brain and tell your brain to stop sending signals of cell division.
God, will we be alive for that?
I don't know. Shit happens quickly, though. They say that, like as scientists now, this is the other thing that was never used to be happening. As scientists in India are sharing their findings with scientists in Sweden, shit's moving exponentially.
Don't they say also the government has all this stuff like 7 years before it hits the public?
So a lot of that's true. It's not the government.
Like
it's not the government. It's private enterprise comes up with these ideas. Sometimes the government will buy those ideas, but the problem is, when you have an invention, infrastructure has to support that invention, right? So you have an electric car,
yeah.
But where do you get it charged?
Yep.
So you have to wait for the
a while,
infrastructure. Yeah. You have to wait for the marketplace to catch up.
But the government has the heads up before it. Obviously, they should, so they can provide the infrastructure.
My father, 20 years ago, maybe a little less, was privy to this top secret. He got to go into this room where they had inventions that, and it was not, the government doesn't invent these things a lot of times. It's independent companies like Boeing and Lockheed and Raytheon and all that. And they'll come up with these really wild inventions. And then the government will, some of them are weapons related, or some of them are national security related, or whatever. The government may have those, they may buy them, but they don't, there's no applicant, they don't know where to apply it.
Yeah.
They don't know where to apply it.
Robotics
are what scare me. Robotics with nanotechnology, and you have a fucking robot that looks and is the size of a mosquito, and it can come into a room and spy on you. Well, our insurance companies are going to love that shit. Our intelligence agencies are going to love that for terrorists, and marriage is going to take on a different kind of thing, because you start fucking around, you might be followed by a mosquito.
That's the least of the problems. That stuff.
What does it say about fucking privacy? Everybody can spy on you. Yeah.
Not worried about it.
You should be.
No.
It's happening.
Yeah, I know. So what are you going to do? Worry about it?
No, but figure out a way to control it so it doesn't look at that shit. Hey, how you doing? Look how small that thing is. I mean, come on.
That was it.